Hey y'all, welcome to the kitchen. This afternoon I'm going to be making some coleslaw. Preacher's coming over tonight. His family's out of town, so he's going to come eat with us tonight, and I'm going to fry some fish, some homemade french fries, some coleslaw, and there's my Texas sheet cake. Get the mix at the H-E-B. It's really good. We're going to have that tonight, and then I'm sending it to work with Stephen tomorrow because I'm having one piece. If it stays here, I'll have to have another piece. So, girls at work, they requested a sheet cake. So I decided, well, I'll make it. We'll have a little tonight, and Stephen can take it tomorrow. So, what I'm doing is shredding my cabbage. Now, I use a mandolin. When I'm wanting, having to do a lot of cabbage. If it's just for me and Stephen, I just chop it up by hand. But let me show you this mandolin here. You got to be really careful with a mandolin because you can slice the tip of your finger or the side of your finger off. So I have to be really careful. I got this at a resale shop, so I don't have the thing that holds the food, so I have to be really, really careful. But, so I use my cabbage, I cut it, and then I just get it going like this, and I've got it set on, there's a plate that I put on here. It says 0.75 millimeters. So it's slicing it really, really thin, and it does a quick job. You can use a food processor if you have a grater or a slicer on your food processor. And see, when I get close, I turn it. And so I can do a little more like this, and it slices it up really, really nice. And I'll show you right here. See, it just does a really nice job slicing it. And I'll finish the rest of that up here in just a minute. So what I do is I like it maybe a little more chopped up than this. So I just take my knife and I just go through it and just give it a good little chop. That way, if there's any bigger pieces, they get cut up. Now I like to make my coleslaw. I'm going to have it for supper time earlier in the day, to give it time for the juice to come out of the cabbage and for it to take on the dressing that I'm going to put on here. All right, let me pull this back up here. Whoops, that one came off. I have trouble with grabbing the right one here. Getting used to this, and I'm kind of tall, so I have to extend this all the way. But all right, so I've got my cabbage sliced up. Now this recipe is for about this much cabbage, about half of a head of cabbage. Sometimes I double it. So what I did is I wanted some grated carrot in there, so I grated some carrot, and I wanted to wait to see how much I had in with my cabbage, so I just kind of tossed it around, and so it looks about like that. I like carrot in there. Some people like to put chopped up celery. You can put bell peppers, fresh onion. But when I'm having company, not everybody likes onion. Some people don't like bell peppers, so I usually just do carrots and cabbage. So I've mixed up my dressing that I'm going to put on here, and I used half a cup of mayonnaise. I like Duke's. I like the texture, the taste, very creamy. I used 4 tablespoons of vinegar, 3 1/2 tablespoons of sugar, because I like mine a little sweeter. If you like it tartar, just cut the sugar down. So half a cup of mayonnaise, 4 tablespoons of vinegar, 3 1/2 tablespoons of sugar. I added a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, a half a teaspoon of pepper, and a half a teaspoon of celery seeds. I like the flavor that this gives. And it called for a tablespoon of fresh chopped up onion, and I'm going to use onion powder. I want the flavor, but you know, like I say, when I'm having company, I usually don't put raw onions in things because some people don't like that. So I put a half of a teaspoon. So a half of a teaspoon of each: salt, pepper, celery seed, and onion powder. And I mixed it up with a whisk. And I'm going to, what I like to do is pour about half of it and give it a toss. And I like to, when I dress a salad, I like to use 2 spoons and just give this a good toss. Oh, there's more carrots in the bottom. Good. And now I'm going to put the rest of it, I'm going to scrape it all out. Right here. I whisked it all up with a whisk earlier. And I'm just going to dress the salad here. And I'll probably cut up the rest of that cabbage and throw it in here. And I'll cover it with plastic wrap and stick it in the refrigerator. And then it's ready for dinner. Anytime you are having someone over, or you just, you know, don't want a whole lot to have to do at dinner time, make your salad earlier in the day and just stick it in the fridge. Those of you that have this cookbook, mine's coming apart from when we did that when we lived in Dallas. The recipe's in there. It's called Outlaw Coleslaw. This is one I put. I don't do the green peppers and the tomatoes, but I do the cabbage and the carrots. And then there is your dressing recipe there. So coleslaw is kind of one of those southern staples. It's hot outside, really great, refreshing salad. Goes good with barbecue, of course, fried fish, ham, any kind of pork. Coleslaw goes great with. So get you some cabbage. Cabbage is not expensive, and you can make a lot of coleslaw. And this will last, you know, 3 or 4 days in the refrigerator. I just give it another stir. Sometimes I add more cabbage to it. So, hope y'all have a great rest of your day. Bye, y'all.